It's very inspiring for us as filmmakers to one day hopefully want to make this a full-time job. But for a lot of brand new filmmakers, they don't really know where to start or how to even become full-time and make a really consistent, good full-time living and not have to work a 9 to 5 job. Well, in my journey and in my process and in my understanding, there's like three major important tips or key factors that I found to work for my career, and it's something that I think any and all filmmakers should really utilize if they want to make this full time. Understanding what it is that you want to do. And for the longest, and even sometimes still now, this is a question that I find myself asking as a freelancer, especially in like my slower seasons. You have to really understand what it is that you want to get into. If you want to be a documentary filmmaker, if you want to be a wedding videographer, if you want to get into all these different type of niches out there, you really have to understand what it is that you are wanting and how bad do you want it. It's crucially important to first understand what it is you want to do before you even try to make this full time. You don't want to be full time as something that you're just not happy with. You don't want to do something especially just for the money. Yes, the money is a bonus, but if you're more passionate about a project, you're going to honestly work a lot harder at it than just doing a project just to get by just for the money. Now, again, I know we all got bills to pay, so we all got to make money, but you're going to find so much more joy in understanding what it is that you want to do rather than just doing things just to get by. And for me, in my career, personally speaking, I had to learn that the hard way. I was just doing projects for a long time that I just didn't really want to do, stuff that just didn't excite me, stuff that honestly made me dread going out to have to film in the first place. If you want to go full time, figure out what it is that you want to do. Advice number two is going to be your portfolio. This is honestly probably the most important thing that I mentioned in this video because your portfolio is everything. Your portfolio is going to be your deciding factor whether or not a client wants to hire you or not. Your portfolio also ties into the niche that you want to do. If you want to get into fitness videography and you have a bunch of wedding videography on your portfolio, a client honestly is not going to hire you because they're not hiring a wedding videographer. They want someone who can do fitness. So you have to make sure that your portfolio shows pieces that you want to get into. A mistake that I made early on because I didn't really know what it is that I wanted to get into, my portfolio just had a whole bunch of random clips of all different type of niches. It didn't really have just one dedicated niche. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad if you have a bunch of different video projects on your portfolio. I'm not saying that at all because the more versatile you are, a client can see that and maybe they want a different project down the line, and then they remember that, hey, on his portfolio, even though I hired him for a corporate interview, he had fitness on there. So now I know that he can do a fitness interview or he can do a fitness spec ad or something along that line. But what I am saying is if you want to get into event work and your portfolio is full of music videos or your portfolio is full of cooking videos, clients not really gonna hire you because that's not what they want you for, so they can care less about all your cooking video. There's actually a time in the beginning stages when I was trying to get into corporate work. I was trying to get into interviews, documentaries, and stuff like that. I had an interview with a client, and the client's project was basically just 2 interviews, and the pay was around $800. But the client told me after I showed him my portfolio, the first thing he said was, "I see here on your portfolio, all you have is music videos. This is an interview. Are you sure you know what you're doing?" And I was like, yeah, at the time, I'm just a rookie. I was like, how hard can it be? Just an interview. I just had that mindset when in reality, I never did an interview before. So I really had no idea that there was composition. I really didn't know about lighting. I didn't even know about setting up a lavalier microphone. But based off the Zoom call that me and him had, he basically was just telling me, based off my portfolio, he can tell that I am definitely inexperienced. And there's directors out there that are like that. They're just going to be brutally honest with you. There's some directors that are going to be nicer than others. So he told me that he'd rather hire somebody who's less talented than I am, but has a lot more experience, rather than hiring someone who's really talented but has zero experience in what it is that he wanted to do. And there's going to be times where clients, if they look at your portfolio and they see that you don't have much experience in what they're asking for, they're just going to categorize you as inexperienced. Even if you do feel like you know and have the understanding of how to shoot an interview or how to do an event or how to do a music video or whatever it is that you're trying to do, if you feel confident enough that you know how to do it, but they don't feel confident enough in you, it's really going to hurt you in the long run, and you're just going to get no clients at all. Or in some situations, you might have to charge little to nothing for that project just for them to even take a gamble with you. Because he told me that. He told me if the project was smaller, he would have took his chance with me, but since it was a bigger project and it was paying a bigger price, he didn't really want to risk it with me. Well, some of you might be asking, how do I make a portfolio? How can I get into corporate work if these corporate people are not hiring me? The simple answer is to go out there and hit up a friend. Maybe you have a friend out there who's trying to start their own business. Hit them up and be like, hey, can I do an interview with you really quick, and use that for your portfolio? Even if you don't have any friends that are trying to start their own business, just make up a fake interview. Use that for your portfolio. It doesn't have to be a full-on real interview. Treat it as if it was a real interview and use that as your portfolio, because that's all clients want to see. They just want to see that you're able to do the work that they want to do. Now, number 3 for me is kind of gonna be social media in a way. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying go on social media and sit there and just DM every single client that you want to work with and just write them a long message offering your services. I don't really suggest that you do that. I mean, you can, but for me, I just feel like it's too time consuming, and you're never really promised a guaranteed job doing it that way. What I do suggest though, and this is personally what I learned, don't off rip just try to sell yourself to them. I really think that you should break it down to them and kind of show them what they're missing. So say that you see a brand new gym in your area and you go on Instagram and you notice that they have a lot of photos, but there's not really much videos explaining or showcasing their gym. So what you can do is do a deep study of whoever it is first that you want to work with, and then hit them up. So in this message, you can say something along like, hey, I checked out your profile. I see that you got a lot of great, amazing photos, but it seems like you don't have really much video work. Well, I'm a videographer. I have these skill set. I feel like I can help boost your business. I can help boost your engagement. I feel like video work is the prime of its prime right now. And if you utilize more video, I guarantee you that I can make your business grow. Sell yourself to them. First, show them what's the issue. You first have to show them what they're lacking, show them what they need, make them believe that they really do need you. So it's like the doctor had a cure and the patient was sick. So if you're the doctor and they're the patient and you see that they're struggling and they're sick and they don't really have the cure, but you have the cure. So if you reach out to them and say, hey, I'm a videographer, this is how much I charge, can I do a video for you? You got to remember that they think they're healthy. They don't think that they need your cure. But when you, the doctor, comes to their Instagram and says, hey, you're sick, or AKA you're lacking videos, here's the cure. I'm a cameraman. I can do these high quality professional videos for you. I guarantee you it can draw engagement if you post more video. Instagram reels are popping right now. Just show them the cure and then they'll take the medicine. That was a horrible representation. I'm sorry. I just tried to make it fun and creative for you to understand what it is I'm trying to say. So all in all, those are basically the 3 things that I had to learn as a filmmaker, as an up and coming or an inspiring or even yet a semi-experienced, or even to some people, a well-experienced videographer, cinematographer, filmmaker. I feel like those 3 titles are just so loosely thrown around and everybody just calls themselves that nowadays. Another thing that I found to be very, very helpful is creating spec ads. Now, not only does spec ads help you get more jobs, but spec ads can also help clear your mind from stress and anxiety. I mean, I'm just speaking for me at this point. It does that for me. I like to go out there and create a spec ad. I like to go out there and create a short film. I love to take the creative freedom back control of my life, because when you're working for somebody else, ultimately you don't really have the creative freedom because you're just working for somebody else. I think spec ads are an amazing way to get out there and challenge yourself. I think it's an amazing way to stay in the game. I think it's an amazing way to really still truly love what it is that you're doing, because honestly, if I just keep doing corporate work or event work or interviews, I'm gonna get bored of it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. There's nothing really exciting about an interview that you're really not a part of. But creating a short film or a spec ad for my favorite brand, that's more exciting, and you can use that for your portfolio, and that can really help you land more jobs. With spec ads, with short films, there's no limitations. The sky is the limit. You have full creative freedom. So without further ado, those are the 4, I think 4, I don't remember how many it was. I was just talking at this point, but those are the tips that I had to learn, not even tips, those are just things that I had to learn as a filmmaker in general, and things that came over time and with time and trial and error and a lot of wasted money and a lot of wasted time. These are things that I'm trying to help you improve as a filmmaker, and maybe you can avoid the same mistakes, and maybe your journey doesn't have to be as long as my journey took me. Just run the race that is set before you and fix your eyes on what lies ahead. Do not look back. Do not focus on the things that will soon pass away. That's it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's any piece of advice that you can give an aspiring filmmaker, or there's any piece of advice that you want to tell your future self, leave it in the comment section below. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Abiantu, Banjoni.